Good evening to our viewers in the West. The most damaging testimony during a day of impeachment hearings came from a decorated combat veteran wearing a chest full of service medals and a Purple Heart. Army Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman told Congress he was alarmed by the president's July phone call with the leader of Ukraine, saying it was improper and inappropriate that Mr. Trump would ask a foreign leader to investigate a political opponent and that it could undermine U.S. national security. All three of the witnesses today who worked in the White House and were on that call said the president's words were unusual and raised concerns. There's a lot to break down with our correspondents here in Washington. Nancy Cordes leads off our coverage at the Capitol. Nancy, there were some extraordinary moments today.
There were, Nora, and today's testimony went straight at one of the main White House lines of defense. This argument that the president withheld millions in aid to Ukraine, not to extract some favor, but because he was simply concerned about corruption there. Today's key witness said he knew he was taking a risk when he spoke up.
Dad, I'm sitting here today in the U.S. Capitol talking to our elected professionals. Do not worry. I will be fine for telling the truth.
Lieutenant Colonel Alex Vindman and State Department aide Jennifer Williams were both sitting in the White House Situation Room on July 25th, listening as President Trump asked his Ukrainian counterpart to look into former Vice President Joe Biden.
Without hesitation, I knew that I had to report this to the White House counsel.
And what was your concern?
It was inappropriate. It would undermine our Ukraine policy, and it would undermine our national security.
Vindman, who is the chief White House advisor on Ukraine, said President Zelensky would have taken President Trump's request for a favor as a demand.
In this case, the power disparity between the two leaders, my impression is that in order to get the White House meeting, President Zelensky would have to deliver these investigations.
His impression was confirmed, he says, at a White House meeting with a Ukrainian delegation, where Gordon Sondland, the U.S. ambassador to the EU, issued an ultimatum.
He referred to specific investigations that Ukrainians would have to deliver in order to get these meetings.
What did Ambassador Sondland say?
Ambassador Sondland referred to investigations into the Biden's Burisma in 2016.
That directly refutes the official White House line.
The money held up had absolutely nothing to do with Biden.
So the president's defenders attempted today to undermine Vindman's credibility.
Your boss had concerns about your judgment. Your former boss, Dr. Hill, had concerns about your judgment. Any idea why they have those impressions?
I guess I'll start by reading Dr. Hill's own words, as she attested to in my last evaluation that was dated middle of July, right before she left. Alex is a top 1% military officer and the best Army officer I've worked with in my 15 years of government service. He is brilliant.
He's also a 20-year combat veteran who emigrated from Ukraine as a child. Republicans homed in on an unusual job offer that recently came his way.
Did Mr. Daniluk offer you a position of defense minister with the Ukrainian government?
He did.
And how many times did he do that?
I believe it was 3 times.
And do you have any reason why he asked you to do that?
I don't know, but every single time I dismissed it.
Connecticut Democrat Jim Himes cried foul.
That was designed exclusively to give the right-wing media an opening to question your loyalties. It's what you stoop to when the indefensibility of your case requires that you attack a man who is wearing a Springfield rifle on a field of blue above a Purple Heart.
The two Republican appointees who testified today said that they, too, were dismayed by the president's July phone call. Ambassador Kurt Volker adding that the president's claims about Joe Biden were not credible and that he wishes now, Nora, that he had done more to push back.
All right, Nancy, thank you.